Hey, y'all. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. As Lazy Days Ahead always says, I was actually talking with Annie, and I looked at the time and I was running a little bit behind. I had my music on in the background. If you've never went and listened to Josh Turner guitar, it's not Josh Turner, the country singer person thing. I don't know nothing about him, but there is a, a guy on YouTube. It's called Josh Turner. Excuse me, but he had to change his channel name to Josh Turner Guitar, I think, because of Josh Turner, um, the country star, whatever. Anyway, whatever he is, and but he started watching his videos when he was just a kid. I don't know how he was a young teenager, probably, I guess. But that fella can forevermore play any instrument that you want to, that you can imagine. He's unreal. I think he's one of the musical geniuses, prodigies, or I don't know. What amazed me, he'd always have somebody over there singing with him. He'd have, people, some of his friends. I just assumed they was his friends, but I think they probably went to school with him. They probably had some kind of school, music school or something that they attended, because when they would go, these people would come in, they would sing, and it wasn't normal kids singing. It was, sure enough, they knew what they was doing. And so if you get a chance, go check out Josh Turner Guitars. I was in there. He had on a cover of Mary Ann. It's Ray Charles song, Mary Ann. And him and some of his friends was in a garage playing it. And they're getting down, y'all. Getting the blues, getting grooved. Y'all, I have a guest today. I have a guest, Anny, from Back to Basics Homestead. She's from Canada. I'm going to let her explain all her living situation and everything up there and all that she's got going on. I run across Anny, I don't know how many, it's been a year or so ago, and I watched several of her videos at time, but you know how YouTube is. You get to see one, and then you subscribe to somebody else, and next thing you know, you're scattered all over. And then, but every now and then I'm able to get on her lives and see her lives there. Well, I was on the live Sunday night, and I was watching, and she had several people up on the panel, and she had Remy up there. Rem's, I can't think of it, Rem's Family Farm or something. I can't know. Anyways, I just know him as Remy. I just know Remy. And I've known Remy for quite a while. In fact, I think that's how I met Anny, is through Remy. And how I met Tracy, T-Han 141 or something like that. I'm terrible at names, y'all. I just know what it looks like when I see it on the screen. But anyway, that was on there, and Remy shot me a note and said that Anny was so close to getting her hours to be monetized. She got her 1,000 subscribers, and she's over that, but she's within 200 to 300 hours of being monetized. And he asked if I would help her out, and I said it'd be my pleasure. And I tell you, just simply because of Remy. Remy's my friend. I've never met Remy. But for consistently for probably over a year now, we've kept up with each other's channel, and he supported mine, I supported his, and I like Remy. I think they got a little clique up there in Canada. Him and Tracy and Anny and Thor Haven and I can't remember all of Mad Acre. Some of those folks, they all seem like they always getting together up there. I like that. I like the fact that they can get together. But anyway, I wanted to get her on the show here, on our video live stream, whatever you call this stuff. And so you all can meet her in case you hadn't met her. And I want you to meet her. Let me get up here real quick. I'm going to run through here and say hello to everybody. Say hello to Lazy Days. Dawn Ray, appreciate you have a day off. It's kind of sprinkling and rainy over here, so I kind of have a day off too. There's my girl, Bunky. Good morning. Good to see you. Good to see old Bunky. RG Arizona Homestead. Good morning. We're doing well. Doing well. Thank you so much. Hello, Jim Spencer. It's good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. I'm going to run through this, and I hope y'all don't get offended that I do, because I want to get Anny up here pretty quick so she can introduce herself if you've never met her and find out who she is. You might get over and help her. And you know what? I may have to get one of you mods to throw her link up in the chat, because I don't know. I don't know if I ever went back and put it in the description. I'll try and remember to do that later. But you can throw her link in the chat. You can find her. My bad. I'll try and get to that. Hello, Jen. Good to see you. Katie, I think I may have put your name up there and just skipped right over you, but I didn't mean to. Good morning, Katie. It's always good to see Katie and Jen. It's just always a pleasure. I knew when Jen got on Where to Begin Homestead's game show thing that she had this morning, I knew it was all over for me. I can't compete with Jen. Actually, I was actually doing other things, but hello, Ashley. Good morning. Good to see you. Always good to see Ashley. She has just put out a thing on hers about the cast iron pan. Get over there. Hey, Thor Haven. Good to see you. Hope you and everyone are doing an amazing day, and God's been smiling. Let's see. Hey, Amanda. Good to see you. Good to see you. Amanda, I hadn't watched your half cow video yet, but I get to it. I generally do, or try to anyway. Sometimes I get sidetracked. Hey, Leanne, good to see you. Hope everything's well up there in Pennsylvania. Yeah, that's right. He plays with Rihanna Del Cid some. Sure does. Hello there, Star Homestead, India. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. I'm trying to get to you, Anny. Hey, D. Good to see you, Homestead in the Wood. Loki, good morning. It's good to see you. Did I understand? I didn't understand that last video. Your wife was she celebrating becoming an American citizen? Like how many years she's been an American citizen? Or that's what I understood it to be. But anyway, congratulations on all that. Good deal. Let me slip through here. I'm slipping down through here. I'm slipping down through here. Slowly but surely. I'm getting down. I'm getting down. There's Rebecca. And if I skip over you, I'm sorry. It's not because I intend to. You know me better than that. PSB Odyssey. Always good to see Paul in the house. There he is. There's Rem. Good to see you, Remy. Yeah, I know. I don't worry about it. Hey, good morning, Emily. Good to see you. Morse Chicks. Always good to see Emily in the house. That's my niece, y'all. Hey, Destiny, working on my truck and listening to Chuck. Sound like a country song. Wahoo! There's Where to Begin. There's Janice. Good to see you, Janice. Hello, Wendy Benjamin from Nova Scotia. Always good to see Wendy in the house. And now, how close am I getting to the end? How close? Hey, Jamie. Good to see you. You're not slow. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Jen. Chuck's guest will be Anny at Back to Basics Homestead. Y'all just get up. If you don't have her on your channel, just go ahead and hit the subscribe and go watch. If you have time, play her playlist. She's not lacking a whole lot before she gets to her 4,000 watch hours. So that's what we're trying to do here this morning, trying to get her over the hump. And y'all, I promise you, I'm going to let you meet her here in just a minute. There's another one, Jesse. Hello there. I believe that's Jerry. Good morning. Appreciate you coming, Butler Family Farm. Let's see. Did I reach the bottom? I think I reached the bottom because I'm down here where Jesse's giving out all these all these channel names. All right, y'all, get you a seat. Come on up close. Get your seat at the very front. And you don't have to stand. I don't want you to stand, but if you would, please put your hands together for Miss Anny. Good morning.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
You're probably wondering if I'd ever get you up, right?
You made the suspense.
Hey, generally, I keep people in there a whole lot longer than that, but I'm trying to do better.
No worries. At least the
Y'all,
people are in now.
what's that?
At least the people have come in after
That's
10
right.
minutes.
That's right. And generally, it takes a little while for people to come in, see you on, and all that. And I wanted as many people on here to get in to have an opportunity to meet you.
Well,
Tell us a little bit about your channel there, Anny.
Well, my channel. You want my channel or me first?
you just surprised me.
Well, the idea of my channel started 5 years ago. When I found out I was pregnant with baby number 3, and my husband and I started calculating the logistics of having 3 babies at daycare and analyzing all the situation. 5 years ago, we decided I was going to stop working. But I need to replace my salary. So I started searching online, and then all these opportunities, all these different things, and then asking moms how they stay home to have an income, blah, 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 blah. And then you do the direct sale, the Tupperware, the this and that, and it never works. So I came across a couple of channels. My first one was Art and Bree in the United States. And then I found Justin Rhodes, and it was Off Grid with Starry Helder. I know her channel changed, but that was like 5 years ago. And then I started falling in love with the homesteading community. And I decided to take a leap of faith 3 years after that and start my channel. And I was hesitating between 2 names, the Back to Basics, because to save money, you have to go back to basics.
Right.
But then I also wanted the Rustic Homestead because we were recycling almost everything. So everything that is on the farm, well, the homestead, is recycled, repurposed, free, picked up on the curb. Like some things are crooked, we need to fix it. So that's how our homestead started. So I was hesitating between those 2 names, but we went to Back to Basics because it was like it represented what we wanted for the vision. And then I took a year to film. Like the channel was built, everything was built, but I was so scared to film. I don't know, probably scared. And I started to film a year after that. So my first video is 2 years old for my channel. So March of this year, my channel is 2 years old. Still a baby.
Okay.
But that's how it kind of came to life. And I'm a solo homesteader. My husband works.
Can I just stop you for a second?
Yeah.
Before you started this Back to Basics lifestyle, what kind of lifestyle were you living? Was y'all was it
I was a full-time worker. I was an office assistant and an install coordinator for a company. And I was working 40 hours a week. I had 2 kids, and 2 of them were in daycare. And then commuting was about an hour and a half in the morning, 45 minutes at night. So I was in the office 40 hours a week, and then add the commute. So I was about 50 to 60 hours away from my home.
Goodness gracious.
And my husband works 50 to 60 hours a week too. So it was insane. With two kids, the lifestyle we were having, we were barely home. And the kids were always out. Like I would drop off the kids at daycare at 6:50. And either me or my husband would pick them around 5.
And y'all just made pretty much a conscious decision to change.
Yeah.
You looked at your life and said, I don't like it.
It was a rat race. It was literally like we would never stop. Never, ever, ever, ever stop. And when we sit down, we couldn't because like there's a house to clean, there's chores to be done,
Oh, yeah.
there's this to be done. So it was like literally we would never stop. But like we were never home. So you leave the house at 6:45 in the morning, and I got home like around 5.
Right. And your dilemma is like a lot of people's dilemma is, if I come home, how do I supplement that income to
Yeah.
survive? And so that's basically the premise of Back to Basics, that
Yeah.
you're going to live on the.
So what I did is, as soon as I took my decision to stay home, I was still on mat leave. In Quebec, we're entitled to have a certain amount of weeks, 50% of our salary. So what I did is I put that aside. I was not using it. So we tried to live off of my husband's salary exclusively in the family income that we had. Like the government gives us a little bit of something for the kids.
Right.
And I had to figure out how to save up money. So that means I bulked buy, made everything from scratch. Like there's a lot of snacks that I didn't buy. Prepackaged stuff was no longer possible. Alcohol was no longer possible. Pop, juice. Like we went to the strict necessary Whole Foods, and I just baked everything, cooked everything. Obviously, I don't have like when I started, I was still in the home. Like I didn't have the homestead, so I had dairy, cheese, yogurt, sour cream. Like those were basics. Right. But at one point, I realized that once my salary would be gone, I had to feed my family. So that's how I figure out I have to grow the food and raise some of the meat. Like where I am now, I can't have a dairy animal. I can't have a pork. I can only have chickens and meat birds. Okay. But at least after 5 years in, I can feed my family and we can live comfortably off of my husband's salary. But it would be nice to be monetized so I can reinvest the income on the homestead. So that means tools, optimizing seeds, right. Computer gears, camera gears, or whatever, so that I can make my content a little better. So that's the whole logistics behind the leap of faith I took, which was a huge one.
Well, and a lot of people can relate to that, though. A lot of people maybe not can relate in the sense that they've done it, but a lot of people can relate in the sense that they want to do that.
Yeah.
Have you ever? And I don't want to change the focus to somebody else. I don't want to do that. But have you ever watched the Simple Living Alaska or something like that?
They're my favorite channel.
Simple Living Alaska. Yeah, that's my wife's favorite. Blenda, which for a while we watched that all the time, but our lives got so busy it's kind of hard to keep up with hardly anything anymore. But that's what they kind of did. They were living that rat race type of life.
Yeah.
And decided, hey, we don't like this no more. And they moved to Alaska. And they pretty much.
I followed I think I've watched every single video. Well, obviously there's some that I don't like off-grid stuff, solar stuff. It's not stuff that I am doing right now. So I just listen. But like, I love the fact that they took a humongous leap of faith and they just moved. With 3 kids, there's a little bit more logistics. My kids are very young.
Yeah, I was going to say they didn't have kids.
No, they had dogs, but still, like they need to look for certain comfort for their dogs, but it's not the same thing with kids. Like my kids, they're not homeschool; they are in the like regular school.
Right.
So when we decided to leave the rental that we had and buy a house, we decided to put our kids into school, regular school. So we needed access to school. We needed access to grocery store because when you start farming, you don't have all the experience. So you kind of need a grocery store nearby. The nearest is about 14 minutes. In the one that's the cheapest for us is about half an hour, and Costco is about half an hour away from our house. So logistically, the position where we are about 15 to 30 minutes from big cities, so we can feed ourselves if need be.
Right.
But we're still in the village. We're not, we hesitated between in a village and there was 2 homes. One was 1.5 acres, and this one is a third of an acre, so 15,000 square feet. The 1.5 acre had lots of love to give, but I would have 1.5 acres, which would be very nice. But since we did not want to do exterior work, like remove brick from a house and re-isolate from the outside, put the brick back on or whatever siding, it would have taken us probably like a year to renovate the house, like full time. Since my husband's working 60 hours a week, I have no idea how he was going to be able to do that. So we decided to take the in-village house, but with a third of an acre. So that's 15,000 square feet. So the logistics of having a 2,500 square feet garden is like Tetris for adults.
Yeah, you got to figure out how to make it work, huh?
Yeah. So having an acre would have been nice. But since our budget to buy a house was like so limited, we visited, I think, 5 or 7 homes, and then only 2 were like on our top of our list. The others were like, this won't work. If our budget was higher, we probably wouldn't have been able to buy like a bit neglected farm, but I did not want to put a rope around our necks.
Right.
So we went with a smaller scale, smaller payments.
Well, now, and I guess you could always, once you got your feet up under you, and I know a lot of this is probably a learning curve as far as how to get things done and all that. That it may be possible later on to purchase a little bit more here, a little bit more there, whatever, if you needed, if it was available. You said you had 3 children.
Yep.
And they're school age. I guess they all go to school.
Yeah, my eldest daughter is 10.
Okay.
My middle son is going to be 9, and my little one is going to be 6.
Goodness gracious! You got your hands full, don't you?
Huh?
You got your hands full.
Oh God, yes.
Oh God, yes.
yes. Well, 2 boys. I grew up with 2 sisters, so I was not used to having boys. And having 2 boys is like so different from having sisters. Like they are always out, always outside, always playing with tools. I was never allowed to play with tools, so it's a little different.
But look at you now. You playing with all tools you want, huh?
Almost. I can't play with the power tools yet. It's his tools, not mine.
Well, just sneak them out every once in a while. Just be careful with them. We had 2 boys and 2 girls, so we had the best of both worlds, I guess. Yeah. But they're grown now, so.
Well, you're grandparents, no?
Yeah. Ooh. And got 3 grand boys and 1 girl. Yeah. So they fun. They wear you out though. I don't think I could go back and redo it. I'm too out of shape for all that. I look at y'all and see y'all doing all y'all stuff and all that you got, and it seemed like you got everything together, but I know that's not the case. I
look put together, yeah. But in my mind, it's like a hamster wheel, always going and going and going and going.
and you got to, because you in your mind, you say, I've got to take care of my family. I've got to take care of my children, my husband, but myself. And so you're always probably processing in your mind what it is that you have to do to make it all work.
Yeah, but I'm trying to change a little about that.
Okay.
Because every year I crash. Like I not a depression, but exhaustion. So the first so I just completed my 5th season this year, like homesteading, trying to do it all. And every year I would crash at the end of September, like mid-September, end of September. And when I say crash, like I would get up in the morning and I would dread my entire day. I wouldn't want to do anything. I was like not motivated at all. But like there's still stuff to be done. So this year I decided I was going to do the end of the season differently. And I did not crash this year, but I was exhausted, like mentally, physically, emotionally. I was exhausted, but I did not feel the same crash as usual, where I don't no longer want to do anything, where I don't want to bake anymore, where like I just want to sleep all the time. So by changing certain things at the end of the year, like resting as much as I could, that was the key to not crash as much. And
Right.
in November, I decided I was going to go to bed earlier. And then in December, same thing. And after the holidays, usually I crash again because, you know, you eat more, you drink more, and then you don't have the same routines and all. But because I rested before, I did not crash after. So in January, I was recharged. So
Yeah.
by doing all these things, we are getting older year after year after year, even though we don't want to.
Think about that.
We can't escape that. So I'm like, I'm going to take care of myself. And by taking care of myself, I'm going to be able to give more energy to my farm, to my animals, to my family, to my loved ones, to everyone. So they're going to have a better version of me
Right.
instead of a crashed me.
Well, after an entire summer of working, you know, and gardening and putting things up and trying to preserve for the winter and all that, and then when it gets up, I imagine up in y'all's area, I mean the cold and you get a lot of snow and stuff up there.
No, not that much. I'm in the province of Quebec,
Okay.
Canadian. I'm in zone 5B, but in a microclimate.
Okay.
So I am like super close on the Ontario border. But the amount of snow that I get is not as much as Quebec City, which is in zone 4. But I do get the cold. So the below freezing, very cold temperatures, I do get them. My last frost is May 12th, and my first frost is mid-September, but it never really happens before mid-November.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I'm in a microclimate. I'm in an agriculture village, so it's big, big, big fields around the village.
See, I'd
So
never guessed that. Down here, our first frost date is probably about mid-November, and I'm in South Louisiana or
okay,
South Mississippi rather.
so you don't experience cold that much.
Oh no, no, I hate it.
You hate the cold. I hate the cold, but you know, I was raised in Quebec, so there's nothing I can do about it.
It depresses. That's what I was saying. It kind of it kind of puts you in a mood that, at least it does me, that I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to get outside. I don't want food, anything. And
True, that's what I felt the prior years, but this year I'm excited. I don't know why. It's different. Like I'm excited because right now January and February is learning for me.
right,
I do online courses, either to make soaps or to learn about market gardening, adapted to my zone 5. Like learn about hybrids, what works better here, high tunnels, all that. So me, January and February is a learning months for me, where I analyze the failures I had the year priors or year priors, and I try to educate myself in January and February. So then when I start my seeds in March, I'm like the knowledge is fresh, and then I can start my year like that. But like I'm really excited this year. I know it's cold outside. I'm probably gonna say, oh my God, it's cold. But I'm not demotivated because I
right.
don't know. Maybe because I'm not tired. Well, that tired, I should say.
That's a big help. Being tired can certainly change your mindset. Let me stop right here. Dawn Ray, she asked, did I say that you're only lacking a few watch hours? She's lacking 200 to 300. I can't remember exactly.
255.
200. I was pretty close, right? 255. So about, let's say 300. Yeah. And if you have the time, if you have the means or ability or whatever they call it, and you can play her. Can you play like playlists and it helps? Do you have playlists on your channel?
Sorry, I thought that was not a question. Yes, I have different playlists. I have my lives. All my lives are in one playlist. Okay. Like I have In the Garden. I have a sweet potato one. I have tomatoes, which is my favorite vegetable to grow. I have Pantry Tours, Three Rivers Homestead, Pantry Challenge, the Every Bit Counts Challenge. There's like different playlists there.
Hey, TNT. I seen come in and I didn't say hello, and there's probably some more that I probably didn't say hello to, and I apologize. Hey, Frank. Hey, Mark. Appreciate y'all coming in. This right here, let's help Annie get monetized by running her playlist. There it is, right there. Your lives are what time? When do you generally do your lives, Annie?
At the moment, my lives are Sundays, every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So I think
that'd be 5
o'clock for you guys.
Right, 5 o'clock us. That's right, Central Time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that helps a lot too when you get people to just come to your lives and participate in that way. I think that as far as getting your watch hours up, that probably helps.
Yeah, it does.
Anything.
But like you're competing from the year prior, so it's a 365 rolling days.
Right.
So, since last year, my first live was in January 2nd. I had like many of the viewers participating, so I had lots of hours. So every day that goes by, I lose the watch hour of the 366th day, like the one behind. So like I was going up, down, all during Christmas time. Like January 1st to January 10th, I was like going up, going down, going up, going down. So it's a roller coaster to the end. It's going to test me to the end for sure.
Hey, Glenn and Jessica, good to see y'all. And I seen Boots and Bounty, Mr. Boots and Bounty come in. Steven, appreciate you coming in. I know y'all are working and got a lot of things going on. I appreciate you stopping by to say hello. And Mark, anytime, just you can give me a call. My phone number, I think, I can't remember now if I got it on my About page or not, but it's been so long since I looked at it. But if my number's there, you can just call me. If not, you can email me, whatever. Just get in touch with me. The way it just revolves, I guess, and it gets kind of frustrating because you get real close and then that day falls off that you might have had a lot of hours and it drops you back down.
Well, I'm not frustrated because it is a journey. And as a person, when I started the channel, I was only focused on numbers.
Right.
Because the end goal was a revenue. But now my first goal is to share my knowledge, share, inspire in after that part. Because if you focus on the numbers first, you kind of lose track of why you started. So I just want to inspire people to grow food. I want to inspire people to have a garden, even if it's on a windowsill. I have people messaging me in apartments saying that they found windowsills in their apartments, and every single room they have a little pot and they put basil seeds, rosemary seeds, and all of that. And they show me those pictures of those windowsill with their herbs, and they say, I am now self-sufficient on fresh herbs. And they're super excited to share that with me. I know it's just a windowsill, but it's huge. I inspired someone to do that.
And it's also, they learned something that maybe not on a big scale. They may not have a 5-acre garden, but they have a little garden.
Yeah.
And
And then I have people sending me pictures of their grow bags. I had someone sending me pictures of their garden, sharing knowledge in the community. Like since I was able to have a community tab, like I started doing posts. People are talking there. People are exchanging in the comments. It's real fun to connect and to inspire. So if it happens this week, I'm going to celebrate. If it happens next week, I'm going to celebrate, but I'm going to embrace it all the way because it's a journey and I'm growing with my garden and with my viewers at the same time. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago.
Right. Well, I noticed something that you do. Speaking of that, you do have, at least from what I've noticed, and obviously I've observed from a distance. Um, it does seem like you do have a closeness with the people that come on your lives. It seem like I see you on, like, talking about Remy, just for example.
Yep.
I see you on his live. I see him on your lives. Tracy and Darren and others that I can't remember all of them now, but it seemed like y'all have a pretty close
Connection.
yeah, connection. I was going to say network of people, but connection is a much better use.
I was struggling when I started, and my mentor was Mallory from Quebec Homestead. I'm not sure if you know her. And I was asking her so many questions and I was so insecure. And then she's like, Remy from Rem's Family Farm just classified for monetization. You should ask him your questions and share your knowledge since your channels are almost the same. So I was like super shy and I just, on a whim, sent him a message and I say, well, I feel alone. Like there's no Canadian homesteaders out there, and you're in New Brunswick. And we just started chatting. And we never stopped. Like every day we would exchange. I would send him thumbnails. He would send me thumbnails. I would send him names of my videos. And then he would send me pictures of his of his garden. He's like, oh my God, I'm having so much struggle. Can you help me out? And we built this friendship. But then he introduced me to Tracy from Han 141 Homestead. Thorhaven Farm, Darren, Marilyn from Little Homestead by the Beach.
Yeah, okay.
They're all Canadian. Well, except Tracy, he's
New York.
He's New York, but like he's close.
Right.
And then like I started seeing that I was not the only one doing this in Canada. I know like everyone's far apart. Like Bucket List Homestead is Ontario. Me and You Acres is also in Ontario. Plymouth's Backyard in Ontario, but they're 3 hours away. And then Darren is about 3 hours away too. So I didn't feel so alone anymore. And these people were
disconnected.
Yeah. And then these people come to my live. So it's like it's online friends, but it's much more than that. And it's like a social event where we can exchange. And yes, I saw the comment somewhere. Community is important. Real important. It's great. Like to have the support where you can have your dark days and to exchange in your good days, because community is all about that.
Well, I think a lot of times that, at least from what I've experienced, that you don't feel like you're in competition with the people that you associate with. It's in your YouTube community. You don't feel like that you're having to go against them, or you don't have the feeling that they're going against. You have a feeling that everybody's trying to build one another up.
Yeah. Well, you can't compete because each of us have a flavor. Each of us has knowledge that the other doesn't have. Each of us are locally, like we're not physically neighbors. We are in Canada, but none of us have the same environment. Like Darren is on sand and he's in Quebec City. Mallory is near Thorhaven Farm, but she has a totally different setup. She's in the mountains. So even though we can't compete, just like generally we're not the same people, we're not the same flavor, we don't talk the same love language, we don't share the same thing, our content is totally different. So by following all of them or most of them, like you kind of get like this whole, I don't know how to describe it, like this whole community all together. And I don't feel competition at all.
Right. And there are some that do though. There are some of these what you call YouTube communities that's all they are is, and I've been around some of it. They just always got drama going on, always got fussing and this, that, and the other, and I don't have time for all that.
I
I'd rather
don't either.
associate with people that want to, that love one another, that love to encourage one another and to
I try to stay away from drama
oh yeah,
at all cost, but
bounce ideas.
especially on social medias. Um, I know that people thrive on drama. So if I would do a video on drama, people would love it. Like, but I don't want to feed the drama. Like, I want to inspire change. I want to inspire positive stuff. So I don't do drama. Not on my social media platforms for sure.
Right. Well, and it seems like that's what you're doing. The videos that I've tried to keep up with, it seems like you are trying to show what you're doing, how you're growing it, how you're going about it. And I can see where that would encourage people that are trying to learn, people that are trying to find direction, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
in their life. And
What I try to explain people is that you don't need to have the land to grow food. Like, I'm on 15,000 square feet. That's not big. I have an in-ground garden. I have raised bed gardens. I grow in grow bags, and I have a temple converted car structure that I made a greenhouse with.
okay.
And everything is so close and so tight together. Yes, it's a hassle when I want to put compost everywhere. But I told my husband, if I want to grow as much food as I can, everything has to be crammed up together. And like, there's a certain area for the kids. Like, I made sure that they have a play area in front, a play area in the backyard. We have a small area for a little pool. But the rest, everything that's south facing, is mine. So everything that I can extend south facing, I'm growing food. The only place I promised my husband I would not grow food is in the front yard. So he's lucky because the front yard's like pretty big.
Just
But
put your chickens out there.
no. Well, you see, being in a village, this is something I keep saying, and I think I said it on multiple of my videos and my lives. I had a neighbor complain. So my chickens no longer free range. I have to keep them in an enclosed pen so that no one can see them.
So y'all have that up in Canada too, huh?
No. We are in an agriculture village. It just took one complaint. So I'm allowed to have chickens. It's just the
No, I'm
neighbors.
talking about you have those complainers up there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're everywhere. So he said that I was reducing the value of his business
Okay.
by having chickens in my yard. But then people that goes there comes to me, rings on my house and say, "Where are the chickens? I love seeing the chickens. How come they're gone?" Well, I'm like, well, I can't. I'm no longer allowed. Someone complained. So fussy people, unhappy people, they're always going to be there. So I had this envision. I had a square garden, and then I had a U around my garden, like all around. In the front of the garden was where my chicken operation would be. So I would let them free range in the back of the garden, like, so they would go all around. And when I was weeding, all I had to do was take the weeds, throw it on the other side. Like, I wouldn't even have to collect the weeds. All I had to do was pick them up, throw them on the other side of the fence. And the chickens, when I started doing that, they were so happy. Like, I had so much weeds for them. But then I had to enclose everything. So now I have like this U around my garden that this year I'm going to have to decide if what I do with it, because it's space that the kids won't go in. Like we have to go through the garden to mow the grass. So someone pissed on my parade.
No.
So be careful with neighbors if you have chickens. That's one of the tips that I give all the time.
And dogs. Our dogs have given our neighbors fits.
uh, if I had a dog, well, I can't have the dogs that I want here. I'm not fenced in completely.
Right.
So if I would have a dog, I would fence them in or have the collar. There's a collar to fence them in. But I don't think I would have farm dogs or small breeds of farm dogs here, because I don't think they would thrive. I don't think they would be happy here. So maybe if we move one day, that would be on my top of the list of stuff that I would want, a farm dog.
So how many different type of animals do you have? You have chickens?
I have layers and ducks.
Layers and ducks, okay.
Permanently. And I have pet rabbits.
Okay. Yeah. We have rabbits. I'm still learning about rabbits. We had 3 litters basically that just died.
I just had a litter die on me too. The first litter is always the hardest.
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with me not knowing what I'm doing, but also we had that extreme cold that came here in South Mississippi. We don't get cold in the teens very often for in any extended time. We had like for 4 or 5 days in a row, and that may be normal to some of y'all folks up there.
Yes, it is.
It's not to us.
I lost my litter to unexpected cold, and she doesn't. Rabbits are savage. They don't sit on their babies.
No, they don't.
They don't. So if it's cold, let's just say that a chicken decides to go broody, and she has little chicks, and it's cold, she's gonna sit on her chicks,
right,
to keep them warm. But a rabbit, she goes to see the babies maybe 2 to 4 times a day, and after that, she just wraps them up with the fur that she has on her chest, and that's it.
Yep.
When I found those babies, I was heartbroken. I was like crying. I'm like, why didn't you sit on them? And then I started reading, and they don't. So.
See, I just found that out, Annie, that rabbits, well, 2 of my rabbits didn't even pull fur. I guess they were new at it. They didn't know what they was doing or whatever, but they didn't even pull fur. So the babies didn't have a chance.
Well, the first litter is always the hardest. I had some of my females that did not remove their fur. The one that just lost her litter, she did everything right. Everything was right. But then the cold snap came. So I didn't see that. I didn't see what Sora wrote.
Hold on, I get it back up if I can find it.
Very few humans sit on their bed. True, Darren, true. Yeah, but we protect them. We can't sit on them because then we would suffocate them. So I do have, they were meat breeds.
Right.
But now we are building a compost for poop. Right. So what I'll do is I'm getting a second female. So I have 2 males. I'm going to have 2 females, 2 males, one as a backup. And I'm going to sell the litters at 5 weeks old to build a compost operation. So what I want to do is I want to pay for the feed and for the installation of the rabbits and have free compost. The only thing it's going to cost me is my time.
Right.
So poop from the rabbit is considered cold manure. So if it's dried up, you can take it and you can put it in your garden, and you can put it under your tomato plants, your pepper plants, eggplants. I don't know, there's a certain amount of plants that you can just take a spoonful of it and just put it under your plant, and it's like slow release fertilizer. Since compost is getting more and more expensive year after year after year, I'm finding that if I sell 5 litters during the year, I can reimburse my entire installation of rabbits. And if I am forced to dispatch certain like a certain certain amount of rabbits, well, then it's going to go in my freezer.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what we got ours for. It's
Mm-hmm.
just,
but they're cute. Dispatching rabbits is hard.
they are cute, aren't they? You gotta separate your mind. You gotta let your mind go somewhere else for just a few minutes.
Yeah, like dispatching meat birds. Okay, yes, it's hard, but they're not cute.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, them baby rabbits, they are cute. I thought I was going to have trouble with it the first time we done ours, and but after the dispatching, I'm fine. I don't worry the cleaning and the process and all that. That don't bother me at all. But just to look in them little eyes, and
they're cute and cuddly.
they are. It's hard to.
yeah, it is hard.
Well, look, we don't have much time. Andale Homestead comes on at 10 o'clock Central Time, and
okay.
Always like to get.
Well, I can talk a little bit about my homestead within a couple of minutes that's left, so that if people want to follow me. So I said I was a Canadian. I'm in the province of Quebec. I am in the zone 5B gardening. I did say that I have in-ground gardens, raised bed gardens, and a converted tempo structure. That's a car structure that I made into a greenhouse. And I also garden with pots, grow bags. So I have every single way of gardening. And I also do container gardenings with the, there's like this tower, green stock tower. I also have that. So my content is for anyone that wants to grow food, regardless of the amount of food you want to grow. And then at the end of the season, I process the food, I can the food, I pressure can, I water bath, I dehydrate, I freeze, I like blanching and freezing. I don't have freeze dryer. That's on my wish list. I wish I had a freeze dryer. It would make my life so easier. I do not show content of harvesting animals in case there's kids watching. And I do show the animals that I have, but in limited quantities, because I don't want to show my installation since everything is hidden. I don't have problems with the city. What else? I'm a solo homesteader, so that means I'm the only one doing this. So if I can do it on 2,500 square feet, anyone can do it. I never had tools when I started. Everything was done with my 2 hands. I am starting to invest in tools now to optimize my time. And I share also calculate, there's chicken math, there's canning math, I share tomato math. There's like a lot of knowledge. And I also started doing sourdough last year. So there's a lot of different flavors, and I'm also applying this year for Shed Wars.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen Remy mention something about that, trying to get you to do Shed Wars.
Yeah, well, he's been trying for, I think he wanted me to do it last year, but I have so much going on. Like, I always fear that I'm not going to, there's also seed math. I'm terrible with that. Like, I was always thinking that when I come in the house, I have to think to weigh everything, which is so hard for me. But like, I'm going to think of a system to do it.
I'm not that organized. I'm
being organized optimizes your time.
Yeah.
And since like I'm doing this all by myself, so that means I start seeds on my own. I take care of my seedlings, transplant my seedlings. Last year I had 135 tomato plants, 100 pepper plants, 45 cauliflowers, 35 broccolis. Like, I have to prepare the beds, amend the beds, transplant, water everything, fertilize everything, weed everything. harvest everything, like being organized every year, knowing the recipes that you want to do helps. Thank you. So that's, if you have questions, I can answer them if we still have time.
We're about to have to go, Annie.
Okay.
I do appreciate you coming. And,
thank you for having me.
Well, it's our pleasure. It really is. And I hope you people will go to this
link
right here. And Annie done figured me out. She knows I can't process words too good.
Sorry. It's a tendency I have when I see someone struggling. I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to say to help you out.
You spent the entire time trying to figure out what I was trying to say, because I always struggle.
No worries.
But I do appreciate you coming in. I appreciate all of you in the chat that's come in, and I know we've had a bunch of people come through, and I know just the very nature of lives that people have only a certain amount of time, so they come in, they leave, and the others come in. Some have stayed the entire time. And I appreciate you doing that. That just thrills our heart. Mark it when you can. I'll be here. I'll look for your phone call or however you get in touch with me. We'll be fine. Y'all get over and check Annie's channel out if you would. Subscribe, play some playlists. Get her over that 4,000 hour mark before she does her Sunday live.
So, that would be nice. That would be nice. In 1 week, that would be very nice.
Hey, it can be done. It can happen. Sunday at 5 o'clock Central Time, when y'all go to her live to say hello and spend some time with her, you can see her talking about how she finally reached her hours because of y'all.
That would be very nice. That would be very nice to celebrate next Sunday. And thank you for everyone. I'm seeing comments on my phone right now. So thank you. It means so much to me.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to let the chat go. If you'll just hang tight real quick, Annie, and then let everybody get over to Andale. And I don't know if Danny's going to have hers at 11, Chatterbox Gals at 12. I don't know who's all on. Y'all just figure it out. All right. God bless everybody. We love y'all.
Bye.
We'll talk to y'all later.